Thank you so much for coming, and we're going to get started now. I appreciate all of you coming out in the rain. I think I've got a lot of water in my shoe right now. I want to introduce to you Dr. Margaret Fitzpatrick, the president of St. Thomas Aquinas College, who's so graciously letting us use her gymnasium.
It is a privilege to have KPMG here. We so appreciate the work that you do. So often in our School of Business, we talk about corporate responsibility. Well, I have to say that I think KPMG epitomizes corporate responsibility. And not only from what they do as volunteers, but they actually do role model what they say they're going to do. And so to each of you who are our mentors at our institution and at the other institutions represented here, we are so grateful. We talk about to our students is the first thing you have to do is reach out and meet. And you are giving them that real life experience, that networking is what it's about. Many times you can imagine as a college president, people want me to write them letters of recommendation. And so what I say to students is, I'm happy to open a door, but then you have to walk through it. And so what KPMG is doing is opening up that door, teaching on how to network, making you understand what's important in the business world. And I can tell you from personal experience from our students who have gone on to have magnificent jobs, the mentorship was critically important. So it's not just these conversations that you're having with our students and the students from the other institutions. It's what you are role modeling beyond the conversation. And so we are so grateful for that. Our institutions think it's very important that we bring people in who represent our values. So not only are you representing KPMG, but you're representing the values that we think are so important in shaping the future of tomorrow. Our students in our School of Business are required, our School of Business is required to have ethics in every course and to do case studies in ethics. And so we feel that this mentoring program is a living reality of what we think is so important to be embedded in our curriculum. So our thanks to KPMG, but you know it's not only a corporate thanks, because without the corporate support, you as our mentors couldn't do it. But to thank each one of you, because you represent the fourth paragraph of our mission statement. And what I say to in our mission statement, as I'm sure it's in the other mission statements of the institutions here, is that your education isn't just for yourself, but you are meant to create a better global society. And so what we're hopefully doing is sending you, our mentees, out, that you know that your education isn't just for yourself, but it's to create a better global society. At orientation, our students and their families are finding it hard to pay for a private college education, and even if our state schools are represented, the education. And yet I say to the students and their families when they come, you are amongst the privileged few. And they're looking at me like, what? Okay? Because there are 6.3 billion people in the world. There'd be a lot more if they had health care and had clean water. So many people never get to be 18 years old. And if you get to be 18 years old, most people are not getting a college education. So all of us in this room are among a privileged few in our world. And so I ask you now to go out, thank you for making a difference, and go out and make a greater difference. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fitzpatrick. So now we're going to get started with a lot of our presentations, and we're going to start off with the KPMG sponsor of the mentoring program, who helped start the mentoring program here at STAC. I think it was 2005. And so that would be KPMG Spectrum, right? Chief Technology Officer, Jim Snyder.
Thank you very much. It's amazing. 2005, I was a lot taller and a lot more hair back then. But we started this I just got a postcard saying, hey, STAC's looking for some mentors. Like, that's a pretty good idea. So I've been mentoring a lot of people at KPMG and how important it was. And we started with about 6 students here. Today, right now, we're mentoring about 175 students across 5 universities. So, I mean, and because of the mentors and the culture at KPMG is constantly built, and everything we do is helping other people. And the whole purpose of this is, I love this story. Every time I get in front of another school or university, they say, well, who are your mentors? I say, come by KPMG. Oh, that's pretty good. Well, you know, I want all my students matched up with the same major. And I say, why? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, your students aren't dealing with, they're not going to help them with their accounting homework or their marketing homework. They're going to help them, how do you make a decision? Oh my God, I failed a class. No one has ever failed a class. I can't get through this. So, you know, I started here as a physics major. I got my D in modern physics and said, hey, this computer thing's pretty cool, I'll try that. Right? So the students don't realize, they think all this pressure is on them to be perfect, and all they hear about is perfect stuff. And that's what's on them. Right away, it's going to be right you. So I actually have a lot of discussions when we match students. I actually don't want the student matched with someone. And then they say, why? I said, we'll teach you to have a network. So my background is mathematics and IT. I've mentored accounting students, I've mentored marketing students. And guess what? I have tons of a big network. If I have a marketing question, I can pull someone I know from marketing and we get connected. So that's what it's about. And that's what today is. You know, it's funny, before I go any further, I need to actually, everyone who's ever been involved in anything like this, the stuff that goes on behind the scenes to make this happen, to make people like me and others look good, is a lot of work. So how this started was, a number of months ago, we were reviewing the annual survey results. And one of them was, hey, how do you make the year event more interactive? Jen came to me and said, hey, Jen, how do we involve golf? Now, Jen and I talk a lot. I know Jen has a personal goal to learn how to play golf. So I said, Jen, that's just you trying to play golf. But how are you going to do golf? And then her and Kate came to me, and after about 3 phone calls, they convinced me we can make this happen. And then Kate is a magician. Kate, thank you. Stuff that she did to pull this off. So a lot of work goes on behind the scenes. And then we have some of the KPMG. Matt, where's Matt? Matt's here. Matt got a lot of the tchotchke stuff and the golf balls and all that kind of stuff. So, but bottom line, why you're here is to practice mentoring. This is a safe environment. So everyone who's here, I don't care if you're a student or a mentor, your job today is to talk to 3 people you don't know by yourself. You can't bring your student, you can't bring your mentor. Just go up and say, hi, I'm Jim. Rachel, and she didn't bite me, right? Look at that. You have to learn how to do that. That's what we need out in the world today. Put yourself out there, have confidence. You're going to find that Rachel and I will have something in common. And that's how the world works. So enjoy the time. We have an amazing speaker, David Turner, who's the Chief Financial Officer for KPMG. I personally know David. One of the best people I know, is just a good person. He really cares about what happens here. He's the office managing partner at Montvale, so it's about 3,000 people, and the culture that he's built there about working together, moving forward. And remember, we're a business, right? We're about moving forward, progressing. So there is this drive, there's deadlines, but how do you do that without killing people? And that's what David's a magician at. So we're very fortunate to have David here, give you a little talk about mentoring, the environment, but also, David likes golf a little bit. So, we'll see. David?
Great.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I was driving here, and through the rain and the grey skies and the cold weather, and I thought I was in London again. But Jim and President Fitzpatrick, thank you very much for those words. Jim, thanks for a very overstated introduction. Jim's been a great colleague of mine in the 5 years I've been at KPMG. He's an incredible guy. I'm so glad he's leading this program, and I'm sure he's doing a spectacular job. But yeah, thank you to all the mentors from KPMG for being here as well. This is really, you know, a huge thing you're doing, giving your time. But you know, if you can help, you know, any of the students here, then it's really, really worthwhile. So I want this to be really informal. My goal is that if I can say one thing in the next 25 minutes, even just one, that any of you take away as a positive or something too different, then I achieved what I set out to do. So let me start though by setting the scene. I made a presentation a little while ago to the business school at Wake Forest University down in North Carolina. And it was actually on a similar kind of subject, networking, mentoring in business and that kind of thing. And for about 2/3 of the time I had with them, the audience was very quiet, I mean, shy. And then I tried to provoke a little bit of action, and all of a sudden when I got one person who would engage, it was like the floodgates opened. And we had a fantastic time because it was interactive, and I'd like to welcome you all to ask any questions, whether you're from KPMG or from the student body, because that's why I'm here. So you can ask anything you like us all. There's no such thing as a bad question. If it's a difficult question, Jim will answer. So first, let's start with, so how many people in the room know much about KPMG? If the mentors don't put their hands up. Okay. So let me just touch on a little bit about the firm and the culture. And your president nailed it when she talked about, you know, the way in which we think about you know, ethics standards and the way you do business. But we are a firm who major in providing audit, tax, and consultancy services to clients. So, yeah, we're quite big. We have about 189,000 people around the world, about 30,000 of them in the United States, 9,000 partners around the world, about 2,000 of them in the United States. And our businesses are approximately equal in the United States, about 1/3 of the business in each of the three areas. But just think for a minute about what that means. So we're a business that provides professional services to other businesses to help them grow and help them employ. So our impact is actually on all of the employees of all of those clients that we've got. But when you think about some companies and you think, what are the assets they have? And you think maybe they've got factories, maybe they've got inventory on shelves, products, you know, that kind of thing. What we have is our people. If our people left after the end of work one day and they didn't show up the next morning, we wouldn't have a firm. We'd have nothing. So when we think about people, we think about a bunch of things. We think about the skills we need to provide the business that we want to do for our clients, but we also think about what kind of people, what kind of culture we're going to create, and how we can bring those people into the organization and then grow them so they become world-class at what they do and they don't want to go anywhere else. Because if they do, we just lost our most important asset. So how do you do that? Well, one of the ways you do that is make sure that the environment they're in is a fun environment. They can build their career. There's no reason to go somewhere else because they can hit their career goals right where they are.